So Davos happened recently in normal fashion at the January. The ill-famous annual event where a bunch of the billionaires, the higher elite class, gather together. They take their private jets and planes over to Switzerland. Uh, Basically conjugate together to decide the fate of humanity based in their interest. And it's never, ever, always good. Never always, simple discussion, Sunday talk. It's implementing the worst. I mean, we've seen influence Davos periodically, but luckily, Rebel News here in Canada, traveled also to Davos to meet up with these people and actually confront them on their way to these meetings. Because anytime I've seen any mention about the for Davos meetings annually, I've never seen really any media reports on it. Nobody actually goes there to talk to these people directly. It's like we know about it from podcasts like this or anywhere else you look at, but we never get a full-time scale. But luckily Rebel News was there to catch up with it, and they ran into a certain individual from, you may remember from prior years of the US Senate, or sorry, US Congress, and this man appeared at Davos, and let's see what Rebel News has to say.
You refuse to congratulate the president. That seems...
No, I refuse to talk to you because you're being obnoxious.
I'm not being obnoxious. I'm asking a very simple, easy question. Hey, look who I just bumped into on the streets of Davos. What's Paul Ryan doing here? You know who I mean. He was the Speaker of the House, and then he ran for Vice President. I asked him some questions. He didn't like them. Mr. Ryan, can I ask you for your thoughts on Donald? Give me a word on Donald Trump.
I'm good.
I'm good. Are you optimistic that he'll be a good president?
I'm good.
I mean, I know you're good.
I don't like doing walk and talk interviews. It's just not my style.
Well, just give me a word.
I don't want to do walk and talk interviews. I'm good. I don't want to do walk and talk interviews. I'm looking at my phone periodically. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to address you. Get out of here, okay? I don't want to do this. It's a really easy question. Like, it's not even going to account of why the hell this guy is even here in the place. Just give us a word on what you feel about Trump. Give us a word. A word. Doesn't even have to be pleasant. Just give us a word. I'm good. We're all playing solitaire right now.
It sounds like you're resentful of the president. It sounds like you're
trying to put words in my mouth.
Well, then put your own words in your mouth.
You're good at what you did.
Well, I'm not, because I'm not eliciting a good answer from...
I don't know if you saw behind there. There's Palantir. And for those who are fans of Whitney Webb, you know exactly what that building is. You exactly know what that name is. Palantir is a very, very, very dated, globalized surveillance measure put in place into a lot of different sectors to massively do data collections. They get involved in geopolitics. They do investments, all kinds of stuff like that. It's crazy the amount of influence they have on everyday society. Not just certain individuals, but just cultivating individual countries. And immediately, the building is next to Davos meets. It's still, we don't know exactly why Paul Ryan, the former VP candidate and member of Congress, is at this event. Still have no idea. They won't even give an answer on Donald Trump. But there's more.
I'm not, because I'm not eliciting a good answer from you.
You're not voting yet.
Well, why wouldn't you at least commend the president for his victory?
Yeah, I need you to send me the QR code so I can get in. Yeah. Yeah, just text me the QR code.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I didn't check that email. Let me check that one.
I gotta get my phone. Hey, yeah. I'm on a phone right now. You can see his eye movement. Still, he's trying to look over to see if Ezra Levant walks away. Bud, I'm on the phone. Yeah. Uh, uh. Take the hint. Take the hint. Take the hint. Clearly, all because of one simple question. Say a word about Donald Trump's inauguration. Just say a word. A word. You used to run in American politics. You used to be on when you were back in 2016 when Trump first ran. You were supportive of him. What? Why won't you just give that? Give a word, something. I don't care.
I'll call you back.
Don't you seem a little stingy?
I'm a little busy
All
right
the
now.
world leaders are at least congratulating him. You refuse to congratulate the president. That seems.
No, I refuse to talk to you because you're being obnoxious.
I'm not being obnoxious. I'm asking a very simple, easy question.
Here's what I want you to do. Go on Bloomberg yesterday and look at my TV interview and use theirs.
I think.
Yeah, go on to my Bloomberg interview, the scripted television interview that I did. Just go on to that and use that information. You can't just say it now. Like, it's literally the most simple question. Literally a simple question. And you could be asking a lot more questions. You could be saying, why the hell are you here? What have you done for the American public recently? Like, why the hell did you become from Congress to Davos? What the hell was that connection? We're going to show later on where that connection came from. But there's a lot more, controversial expose questions you could be asking. But the simplest thing is, hey, what do you feel about Trump? Say anything. Say a word. I don't care. Just say something.
You're jealous. I think you had your shot and you failed, and you're sort of grudging towards Trump, who won. Is that wrong?
Hang on a second. Yeah, there's. Right.
He fakes going back to his phone. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to send me the QR code. Right. Yeah, no, that's what I need just to get in. All right. Let me check that email. Okay.
Are you still working out? I'm trying to.
It's not going to entertain your You're being
What,
obnoxious.
you're calling me obnoxious. Actually, I think you're being obnoxious. You're refusing to say even a grudging congratulations to the new president.
No, I'm just not going to talk to you.
Why?
Hang on a second. All right.
I think you're a sore loser.
Oh, man.
What are you even doing at a left-wing place like the World Economic Forum? It's not very Republican. Who are you meeting with?
Not even very American.
Or is that secret?
Depending on who. But.
Right now, I'm trying to navigate my emails, so.
But what are you doing here? Like, this is a George Soros kind of place. Is that your crew now? Is that who you hang with?
He is trying to walk away now.
Is the right word? So that didn't.
Wow.
Fill me with color.
So, that is a good question. They got to, because clearly he can't speak about anything at this point. Paul Ryan. Why is he there? Why is Paul Ryan even at Davos? Why is he even there? Why was a former Republican vice presidential candidate now involved with a bunch of globalist, warmongering, hegemony, insane psychopaths? Why get himself in that crowd?
You refuse to congratulate.
Well, turns out Paul Ryan is the Tenio vice chairman, joins Bloomberg surveillance at the World Economic Forum in Davos. This is from that website. This is from that company, Tenio. Paul Ryan, Tenio vice chairman, discusses trade, the deficit, and U.S. growth with Bloomberg surveillance at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos. And here's just a little summary of that company, where it says, we partner with our clients globally to do great things for a better future. Drawing upon our global team and expansive network of senior advisors, we provide advisory services across our 5 business segments on a standalone or fully integrated basis to help our clients solve complex business challenges. Our clients include a significant number of the Fortune 100 and FTSE 100, as well as other corporations, financial institutions, and organizations. Our full range of advisory services includes strategic communications, investor relations, financial transactions, and restructuring, management consulting, physical and cyber risk, organizational design, board and executive search, geopolitics and government affairs, corporate governance, ESG, and DEI. The firm has more than 1,600 employees located in 40 plus offices around the world. So the guy that ran and failed as a vice president candidate, Paul Ryan, was Mitt Romney's vice president pick, failed, is now working for a globalized institution involved with DEI, ESG scores, corporate governance, and geopolitics. He's now the vice chairman going to Davos. He became a globalist. He became a global insider just like that. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they call a revolving door. When someone goes into politics, they come from maybe a private sector, they come from some sort of corporate institution, they go into politics, they then either win or lose or draw, however it comes out. They then orchestrate politics in favor of those corporations. And then once they leave office, they go to work for that place. We've seen that so many times before, but I couldn't imagine Paul Ryan now working for a global conglomeracy that's involved in governmental affairs and basically instituting itself within corporations globally, doing ESG and DEI. What a Republican, nonetheless, and he is the vice chairman. Paul Ryan, vice chairman, joins Bloomberg surveillance at World Economic Forum in Davos, and they're in charge of that. So this is more from their website, because if you go on to Ateneo, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's pretty daunting. It's pretty daunting what this website has. So Teneo, where is the world going in 2025 and beyond? Sounds like they have their own Project 2025, ladies and gentlemen. While people are worried that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and other Republicans within America are instituting a Project 2025. Well, it turns out the big head elitist criminals in the global sense have already had their Project 2025 already rolled out. And like I said, regardless of how you feel about 2025, is minuscule to what you should be preparing for and understanding and aware of with 2030. Because right now, the situation that we're in right now is being rolled out under the guise of their planning, their urban and social planning and engineering on countries, how they're diminishing sovereignty, how they're bringing in and changing the demographics, changing the culture, eroding itself within politics. Look at Trudeau's cabinet. It came from people like Klaus Schwab when he said, "We're penetrating Trudeau's cabinet." He said it directly to the people at Davos. And it's caught on camera. It's all over social media. That the reason Trudeau has his cabinet picks is because Klaus Schwab in the World Economic Forum decided it. And this company that's responsible for getting itself within corporations across the world and doing DEI and ESGs and contributing geopolitics and corporate governance is setting its own agenda for 2025. And Paul Ryan is a vice chairman. That's why he's at Davos. because that Republican who lost the vice presidency kissed up to the worst, infuriating, insane megalomaniacs in the world, and they cultivated together in Davos. Unbelievable, unbelievable that has happened. But here, also nefarious to know about Larry Fink. So BlackRock, who everybody knows about, and Vanguard and State Street, they're no stranger to Davos. They contribute and go on there frequently. Rebel News caught up with BlackRock's Larry Fink, and he completely melted down because citizen journalists and people that are covering this, like Rebel News, are questioning him and are criticizing him and holding him accountable to say that, well, Donald Trump just won presidency. So clearly not a lot of people are on the side of, DEI wokeism that came directly from BlackRock. Larry Fink was the one that introduced people to wokeism, that we had to do it. We had to engineer people, social economically, we had to engineer people to manufacture this, anti-racist policies and DEIs and institute this, so we distract people. It's all distraction. So we get angry at each other, but not angry at the people that manipulate us, like Larry Fink, like BlackRock, like Vanguard, like State Street, like Davos. So here's how the confrontation went down with Rebel News, and I don't know exactly who's reporting on this. The last one was Ezra Levant, who's the actual CEO, but here's what went down.
Mr. Fink, are you going to follow Donald Trump's plan and get rid of DEI and ESG in your companies? BlackRock really is the opposite of Donald Trump in so many ways. You're authoritarian, you're anti-populist. Mr. Fink, are you going to follow Donald Trump's plan and get rid of DEI and ESG in your companies? BlackRock really is the opposite of Donald Trump in so many ways. You're authoritarian, you're anti-populist, you're top-down. Are you going to change it all in light of the U.S. presidency? How is Donald Trump, have you talked to Donald Trump since he was elected? Is the World Economic Forum a counterpoint to Donald Trump? Why are you running away from simple questions? Just answer a question. Have you talked to President Trump yet? Why are your bodyguards pushing away journalists, Mr. Fink?
They're simple questions. Is it that hard to answer a question that you need bodyguards and to swerve through traffic? Is the next 4 years going to be bad for business with Donald Trump in charge? Is peace the last thing you want on this world?
Which makes more money for you, war in Ukraine or peace in Ukraine? Ezra Levant's my name, Mr. Fink.
Did you just take a photo of you?
Am I supposed to be scared? Is that a threat, Mr. Fink?
Are you used to bullying your way through life?
Wow. Two different journalists asking simple questions. Got the bodyguards trying to push in. I mean, at least it's not the result of when they tried to interview Chris Freeland and he sent like an undercover RCMP posing as a regular person to try to arrest the journalists. At least it hasn't gotten to that point yet. But Larry Fink took out his phone and took a picture of the guy. Like, what are you going to do with that? Send it to the police? Help, I'm being assaulted by what? A journalist. He's asking me questions. Okay? You're a powerful figure. Wow. You're going to be asked a lot of questions. You're also responsible for BlackRock, which has heinous actions against people. So yeah, you're going to be held to criticism. And luckily, for Rebel News' sake, at least they went to Davos. And Rebel News is one of those places that I don't necessarily always agree with. I'm, when it comes to their stance on Israel and Gaza, that's questionable, but give them props to this. Give them props to the fact they actually went there and are speaking directly to these people. Because I don't see any other media institution, and they know that Davos exists. They know this meeting goes on every single year, and not one single reporter, ever goes to interview any of these individuals. So let's see some more of this.
No.
What? Is that how you've lived your entire life without having... Look at this. Don't push back, mate. Don't push me, bro. Don't push me.
When was the last time you answered a question that you didn't know was coming? Why are you so unaccountable? Isn't that what you love about the World Economic Forum? You control everything.
Why do you think you deserve so much power? Hey, Avi Yemeni, should I be scared now?
Which of your former directors do you want to run Canada? Mark.
What is that? Why? Why do you need to take a picture of Rebel News journalists? What is that gonna do? Is that's supposed to intimidate them? Oh, I took your picture. Is he really gonna think he's gonna send it to police and arrest them for, God forbid, asking questions? Oh my God. This is one of the most powerful figures on earth. And he has not said a word since, but he takes out his phone when things get a little too heated and takes a quick picture of them. And gets the bodyguards to shove them out of the way. Like, wow. Like a 9-minute video watching all of this. See a bit more.
Carney or Chrystia Freeland?
Don't push me, bro. What? What are you getting violent for, man? I could push just like you can, man.
Do you see the bodyguard behind him is trying to push him away, trying to shove him off the street? Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. He's even trying to grab the microphone away from him. So, anyway, this is crazy. This is crazy that this goes on every single year. And there's people that do know about this, but there's a lot of people that don't. And I'm kind of amazed that a lot of people don't know about this. They don't know about, billionaires gathering together to decide the fate of humanity. They still think to this day that's a conspiracy from like 30 years ago. Do you really think bankers and institutions and military contractors and hedge funds, they all gather together and talk about how they control countries? Yeah. I think they do it pretty often. They do it through Davos. They do it through G20 and G7. What do you think they do? Talk about Survivor while eating cookies? No, they're talking about the fate of humanity, how they're going to put brain implants into, go look at their website. Go look at their videos. If you take 2 seconds to look at what Davos is, it should make you want to puke. And this happens every single year. And luckily, Rebel News is at least over there to actually confront these people. So they should be given a sense of gratitude on this, even though they're not getting a response from any of these people. But now we know Paul Ryan is there because he got himself from U.S. politics and sold himself out to a globalist empire. Now he becomes the vice chair. That's why he's over there. And Larry Fink, he's a monster. He's an inhuman monster that just roams around the earth and barely could answer simple questions. Answers simple questions that he has to get his henchmen to bump and push away any journalist that bothers to greet him. And the journalists they're not even getting to the real heavy stuff. Like, you can get into really serious conflicting questions to this guy. You could really hold him accountable, but they're just asking simple questions. Hey, what do you feel about the Trump presidency? Hey, do you feel responsible for DEI? Hey, do you think DEI and ESG scores are going to work out for companies? Like simple questions, very simple questions that he cannot answer. So we're see a little bit more, and then
Look at these thugs. They fund wars around the world, and then you question them. They try not only to intimidate you, but physically assault you.
What's with taking photos of journalists who ask you prickly questions?
Who's more powerful, you or President Trump? Why do you think you're so disliked around the world?
Why are so many U.S. states divesting from your ESG schemes? Why are you putting your ideology ahead of your investors with ESG, Mr. Fink? Isn't that being disloyal to shareholders, putting your ideology ahead of rate of return? Why do you think you're above accountability? Is it because you're rich?
not a single word, not a single word, and it's almost like a zombie the way he walks. He's almost completely lifeless, just standing like and just walking like this, just a blank, darting stare just forward, not even acknowledging anything around him. That's crazy. That is like sinister. That's like what you'd see in a horror film or some sort of like twisted thriller. And these are people that have more power and the utmost insane control over everything that they can even imagine. Like BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street. Can't even imagine how much influence they have on everything. And that is where a lot of these policies, the DEIs, the wokeism, the crazy ideology, the transgenderism, like all of it comes from institutions like this that they profit off of. They use it as a scheme to engineer people into these crazy social schemes. They could profit off it. They could profit off of young kids using talkers. They could profit off of, the LGBTQ ST plus 2A whatever. It doesn't actually help the situation. It doesn't actually help gay people or any actual person. It's just them as a marketing scheme so that they can capitalize off that and they can use it for the shareholders and the investors and anybody else that contributes to this horrible organization. And the fact that now Paul Ryan is involved in this. Wow. That says something. That says something. But kudos to Rebel News for actually being there and attempting to hold them accountable, even though they won't say a damn word because literally no joke, they're not even human. They're monsters. They're like walking insane psychomaniacs from a different world than this. I don't even know what